Outnumbered Overtime. Thank you for joining us. Brian Kilmeade is here.
Are you going to do it?
No.
No,
What do you mean?
She wants me to.
I can't do it. I can't really do it. It's like OT, baby, but I'm really bad. I was never a cheerleader, clearly, but I can't do it. Harris does it every day.
Yeah. She made T-shirts.
Oh, that says OT?
OT, baby.
She loves the internet.
She has a lot of spirit.
Yeah.
She has a lot of spirit, and we love her for that. We ended the show, Brian Kilmeade, talking about what?
Women's issues.
Pass.
Let me get on
There's no winning here, Pete. I mean, it's like, the good news is you're on Outnumbered. The bad news is it's Women's Rights Day. So, I mean, it's not a great day to be outnumbered by half the planet. So that's what I was outnumbered today. I really didn't know how I can contribute to the women's portion of our show.
Well, you certainly did. But you know what? You can support women in lots of different ways. I mean, men don't have to be completely isolated from this. I think the problem for me is it just feels so political and tied into anti-Trump protests, and it feels very tied into everything having to do with Planned Parenthood. When the first Women's March happened, when the pro-life groups were disinvited to the march, I was like, game on, shots fired. Clearly, conservative women are not included in this. Conservative women make up about 50% of the population, so half of women already aren't included. I call it Lena Dunham feminism. Like the definition of what a modern feminist is, I, in every conceivable way, don't adhere to, despite the fact that I am on an all-women show with empowered women with amazing backgrounds talking about serious, substantive news every day.
And Ebony, you told me in the break that I have a 14 and 16-year-old.
I did.
And you said that it really becomes clear when you get into the workforce how much tougher it is for women.
Well, and again, this is not to say, because look, I feel I've been successful. Everyone on this couch has enjoyed tremendous professional success, right? So this is not a victimizing attitude I'm talking about. I'm just talking about paying attention to the little things, to the nuance. Like I said, the pay distinctions that I experienced. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know what? It was fixable. I went to my boss like a grown woman and said, this is not cool, fix it, and I got my money. But you've got to advocate for yourself in those instances.
Yeah.
Well, and face it head on rather than go march in the street and take a day off. I digress. We ended the show, I'm reminded, talking about the egos of the presidents and maybe some getting a little damaged. Speaking of egos, I'll boost yours. LM Will writes in, love Brian. His humor and knowledge is so refreshing when listening to political discussions. Thought I'd share
American
that.
treasure.
Nice. Thank you very much. Yeah, if we can make that a T-shirt. I like that.
Brian Kilmeade, an American treasure.
Yeah.
Please join in on the conversation. It's funny to look at all of these, and some I can share, some I cannot.
I will say this. I have a petition. I was going to link Fox and Friends. This is what I want to see happen. You or your mom.
My mom?
Yes. Okay. On Cooking with Friends. And we're going to bump into the segment.
Why is that with me saying I don't do cooking segments?
Yeah, and we're going to check us out and make it the cake.
That would be awesome.
It truly was not meant as a knock on Fox and Friends. It was meant as a knock on my problem when I was like out in the workforce before Fox is that so many women's shows were like about things that I'm deeply not interested in. I'm not really interested in talking about celebrity gossip. I'm not interested in like segments about my hair. Like I want to talk about the substantive issues that are affecting America, foreign policy, ISIS, the Iran deal, everything that's going on in the Supreme Court. And I think the majority of women also want that.
There's a stereotype that women only like to talk about lifestyles.
Yes.
Right? And I think that's what she's speaking to.
Right. I will say this. I think what's killing women are these housewife shows. It's destroying women because they talk about, they're interacting and they put us on the outside and we're listening. I'm saying to myself, get me out of this room. I don't understand.
Why are you watching The
interest in it.
Housewives?
Because my wife loves those shows, and they're on all the time. And we have Housewives of Atlanta, Housewives that aren't in Atlanta, we have Housewives of New York.
The Housewives
and
not in Atlanta.
Intramural things, not getting along. Somebody's crying, somebody's cheating, somebody's upset with their husband, someone's getting divorced while being upset with their husband.
Oh, so
and
sad.
it just is, it trivializes the relationships that we normally would know nothing about because we're not invited to the girlfriend's moment.
I would debate that The Real Housewives is modern-day soap operas, and it's actually shows like Girls with Lena Dunham that are hurting modern feminism.
Do you recognize the conversations? Does it?
Yeah, I'm supposed to say no, that I do not watch The Housewives.
How about do you live The Housewives?
And I do not. No, I don't.
That's what I mean.
That's why it's entertaining. No, I don't. I mean, the only conflict I have is here with you guys on the couch. I mean, I'm very comfortable fighting with my girlfriends. I would never. I avoid it. So I would not be a good candidate to be on these shows.
You would be horrible.
I would be
Everyone likes you.
But I don't think it's real. I think it's scripted, and the fights are not real.
And the trips are prompted.
And it's funny, and I watch the trips, and I like seeing the clothes, and I guess that makes me a terrible person.
No.
I enjoy it.
A lot of people are writing in.
Real? balance.
It isn't.
It's not real.
I don't know.
No.
I'm not invited to a women's night out.
I don't ever, I mean, I don't go on like a girls trip 3 times a year to some multi-million-dollar place.
Oh, well, no.
Not like 3
Oh, yeah,
times a
they
year.
always
Also,
do
I have
that.
kids. You
See,
know,
my hunch is-
before when I didn't have kids, I did.
Am I wrong? Would
Not 3
women
times
go
a year.
away that they only talk about guys?
You're very wrong.
Are you
with
kidding?
That.
Is that
Oh,
true?
when women go away, they only what?
Don't they talk about guys the whole time?
No, that's God, no.
That's there's that perspective again, Brian.
God, no.
Bless his heart. He is so cute, that Brian.
Now you become the Southern Belle.
Yeah, Ainsley and I are going to have to talk about that.
Yeah,
Poor Brian.
absolutely.
He thinks we're just talking about the boys.
What's Sandra doing?
I know.
It's on the chat.
You know, it's so hard. So I'm looking at monitoring Facebook Live and Outnumbered Overtime, and like every other one's kind of like, why is Sandra looking at her phone so much? Because I'm
reading your stuff.
People are so hard on you about that, and I'm like, she's reading the questions off the phone for all of us.
It's difficult to find a comment that's totally suitable. I mean, everybody's chiming in that they agree with you, Megan. A lot of people are writing in that they like the fact that we cover hard news and we're not covering celebrity gossip and fluff stuff. That some other shows that may look like this but are very different.
Yeah. But I really, I mean, I can't, I'm almost incapable of talking about some of the issues that most women's shows will come over in it, like in the beginning parts of my career, like hurt me. Because I was like, I don't want to talk about whatever dating tips, whatever. I think that's great if that's what you're interested in, that's what you want.
No,
but I don't think this show does as well as it does because we're not talking about, again, like substantive issues about WikiLeaks and national security. There's a market and need for that. Clearly, that's why.
So here's a fun question, which Outnumbered Overtime is good for. How many hours, this is Kay Weaver Gibbs, how many hours does Brian sleep? How many is he on the air today?
Today is a record.
Yeah.
But normally I'm not. I mean, I sleep about 4 hours, 4 hours a night.
That's it? I'd be so cranky.
Oh, my God.
I need a good 8.
That's amazing.
10 to 2:30, 4 hours, 4.5 hours, something like that. And
10? Why do you go to sleep so late?
I have a life to live.
Oh,
right? No, I mean,
fair enough.
You know why? Because, I mean,
you're out there popping bottles.
My son calls from college around 9 o'clock. My daughter's got a 7:45 practice. The other one's getting picked up at 9:30. Next thing you know, it's 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And you say, you know, and I am an adult. If I go to bed at 8 o'clock, I'm going to sleep with 9-year-olds.
Fair enough.
I mean, I'm sleeping at the time
you're
of
up
a
at
grade
2?
school person.
What time do you get up?
I get up at 2:30.
2:30. Wow.
So.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people asking if you're wearing red. Maybe you didn't watch us on the live version, and maybe you're on Outnumbered Overtime.
I am wearing red, and I also showed up for work. So sort that out. There you go.
You're a complex woman.
All the layers. All the layers.
How do you work out what you wear? Because I know that's a little bit of a question.
Oh, my goodness.
Color wheel.
Really?
Color wheel.
But I mean, do you ever get up in the morning and not know where the wheel is and not know what to wear?
No, I've not known where the wheel was in the morning, and that did not work out well.
You paid for that.
Well, no, you just have to go find it sort of quietly.
All right, does anybody want to address the cuts to build the wall? Because as far as substantive stuff that people are getting to on here, a lot of people discussing, aren't there other places to pull this from and to make these cuts?
Right.
Some say, no, these are the right spots to begin.
I would say I hear Megan's point loud and clear on this, but
you explain it very well, actually.
Well, I mean, when I've talked to various generals about this, they've said there's waste in every budget. You know, I mean, anytime an inspector goes in, they find waste, fraud, and abuse, whatever. There's always a place to cut. When a new CEO comes into power, he generally says to his department heads, you guys got to cut back 10%. They know in their minds, I think a lot of people that run both sections of a company and departments, that the day is going to come. So they have a thought of what they would cut if they had to. Then when you have the ability to add back, because after all, $22 billion in a government budget isn't that much. So when you have the ability to add back later, you add back what's really of value. And sometimes you cut the waste that you didn't really want anyway, but that you didn't want to lose that money in your budget. That said, I totally hear the point about we don't want to be cutting from national security because I do think we overall need to spend more on it.
I would examine privatizing the TSA.
Yeah,
you know, and getting these people, hiring these private companies and pulling the money back, or getting them putting some seed money. You privatize it, you let them turn profit. So I'll choose JFK over LaGuardia because I get through there quicker, as opposed to the same TSA agents who have no necessarily incentive to get you through quick.
I wouldn't say this on the live show, but I'll say it on out. Has anybody seen the movie? It's not that provocative. Get Out.
Yes, I just did.
TSA has a whole new special place in my heart, right?
Yes.
So,
we're going to wrap things up there. Erin, I want to say thank you for joining us. You've heard a lot about overtime. It's the first time you joined us. You said you're very glad you did. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow on the live version.
We got the same training as you guys.